Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 100 of the Home Games Podcast. I'm Yazeed, and this is Joseph.
Hello.
And this is Senovia.
Hello.
Take it away, Joseph.
Okay, now I do that. Previously on the podcast, I talked about some of our progress on rewrites and goals for the year and stuff like that. But since this is our 100th episode, we have something kind of special. So we've brought on Senovia, a.k.a. my wife, for those unaware.
Hi.
And we're just going to talk about some fun stuff, some episode 100 celebratory type stuff. So we have a little bit of notes, I guess, but it'll kind of be looser than normal and very much not technical. Anything else I should add to that?
No, I mean, yeah, episode 100. We've been doing this for a long time.
We have. We were just saying, we just did the math. It's been 2 years and 3 months or so since our first one. The math is kind of weird because we started doing every 2 weeks, starting around, episode 80? 85?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so also we have one mic between Senovia and I, so it might be a little rough on that way. So sorry. We're figuring it out.
We have our stuff together. It's fine.
Yeah, so I guess our first kind of thing that we just wanted to reflect on, I guess, is just since episode 0, which we, like I said, uploaded in October 2019, what's changed? So I have some bullet points there. First, we had a different name. It was called Patch Notes, the Home Games Podcast, not the Home Games Podcast. We had sections, so because we had music from Tyne-In, we have that intro and outro song. I thought, okay, well, we have this kind of other music that we can use for like a What's Up section or a whatever section. And then the next thing, which was our Song of the Week section, which we have murdered because basically it was the least fun part of doing the podcast at a certain point. So we got rid of that. But I guess, yeah, that's just a few. But what else has changed since episode 0? Also, Senovia was on episode 0 in the background. Kind of like we just brought her in like halfway through episode 0 just to talk about Midsummer.
You know, that's funny. I actually don't. Wow, that's a long time ago. Episode 0 might be one of those ones that is slowly gone away from my memory. I don't remember that much about like the very first one. I remember that it was like, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna talk about home game stuff, and then it slowly evolved into like us barely ever talking about home game stuff. But then we like really changed back, and now it's like almost entirely home game stuff.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I remember the beginning of episode 0 is you with a very kind of like not assholey, but very confident, let's say, voice, and you say, "Yeah, so what made you want to do this?" And then I come in with an equally assholey vibe, like I'm being interviewed in the fancy chair with like a cigar, and like, "Well, let me tell you about my intentions with the project." And then it got better, I think, when Senovia came on, and we just talked about whatever kind of fun stuff.
Well, I've only ever been on, I think this is like my 4th episode I'm on, or 5th episode out of 100.
Yours are definitely the most likable from a personality perspective. When I watch ours back, I'm just like, when is one of these fucking nerds gonna shut up, you know? But you, it's like you have ideas and fun things, you know, that you bring, which I enjoy. What do you remember from episode 0, from when you were on it?
So we were living in Washington at the time, and you were just in our spare bedroom in our apartment, and it was like a little cave. And you were talking to Yazeed, and I talked about Midsummer or something like that. So, I mean, it kind of is the same thing, I guess. But if you guys at least look more professional, as in like setup and stuff.
I was gonna say, yeah,
you moved to like a video recording as well, so that's a big thing.
That is true. I think we started doing video around episode 30? No, 23.
Yeah, originally we started doing video because we were cutting each other off and we were just doing it with Discord, but no visual. So like we didn't know when the other person was going to talk or was done talking. So we were doing video for longer than that. We weren't recording it.
That's right. We actually started recording the video, I think, when I came back on that initial flight from Seattle when COVID started getting weird. That first video when I was at your house talking about how scary the airport was.
Yeah.
Which is strange that the majority of this podcast has been over like during COVID. This is very much a COVID podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we're just doing the same thing now in a larger room, which is kind of weird. But the Midsummer conversation I think was funny because it's what I always think of when I think of when the podcast goes off the rails, or like when it goes outside of our intention. But I think those kind of create the most fun. I don't know. It's the most fun to talk about, I guess, because just talking about the computer shit, sounds. I don't know. It just kind of gets old, especially because that's what we do in our free time anyway. Like we work on this thing, and then if you go and you have like your fun podcast and you're talking about just the thing for an hour, it feels dry, I guess, from my perspective. And sometimes it'd be nice to get like an outside oomph.
And I know nothing about the thing, so that's all I can talk about.
Yeah. So I guess from your perspective, what do you think we talk about, like on the podcast, knowing how I work on the project and stuff like that, and kind of what I show you on the project? Like, what do you think the podcast is these days?
I'm sure it's pretty scattery, or it was definitely like back in the day. But now I feel like you guys have like a little bit more of a flow or an agenda. But yeah, I don't really know. I think you talk not necessarily about like home games, but more of just like tech in general, or like processes and stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I guess we do sometimes. We talk about what people do.
Well, we talk about like how we want people to like use it.
Yeah.
I think we Senovia is right though. Like I think one of the, like the big changes, and this is a subtle change that people who listen don't actually know about, but
sorry, I just realized those headphones were never on, so I don't know why I have them on. They weren't doing anything. Go ahead.
Is that Joseph and I used to kind of use the podcast as just like our hangout time, but now we do like hangout time and then record the podcast. The podcast can be a lot more focused, and I don't feel like our friendship is only home games.
Yeah, for a time it was pretty strange because we would basically not talk any time outside of the podcast, and then we have our whole lives and everything is just happening, and then we meet to talk, and it's like, well, don't say anything funny or interesting to me because we're going to do that for the podcast.
All right.
So just tell me like everything that you wouldn't say on the podcast. Like, yeah, tell me about work. Tell me about like all the shitty things. Okay. All right, let's have a good time. Let's like do this. And it just didn't really work. So it's nice now to at least just kind of have a natural, and the setup because we live here, obviously, so it's easier for all of us to be together.
Mm-hmm.
But
and doing in person is easier now than it was before, for sure.
You mean like before when we moved, or like?
Well, but before when you move, also like at the very beginning of COVID, it was like questionable, like if anyone should hang out with anyone else. Whereas now it's like, all right, everyone's boosted up. We're pretty sure we're okay.
And booted.
Yeah, I agree. So it's definitely gotten a lot easier, I think, to do this and a little bit more fun. But sometimes I think, the content stuff, I wonder. One of my notes that I kind of scrapped, but it's like, what would make you listen? And then would you want to, as a person who doesn't care about the technical stuff, and we're making a technical podcast, and I'm trying to think of if we would ever even want you to listen, if that sounds...
That's the thing. Like, I feel like your guys' content, like what I would want if I was looking for like a tech podcast or whatever, is like, hey, this is like tech for beginners, like, and like almost like instructional videos or whatever. And so really, like, I don't think this should be for me. This should be like for people who are like in your guys' industry, who like to test out fun things in tech or in coding and stuff. And so that's okay. Like, you have a market, so just stick with it.
Interesting.
Basically, you could never get me to listen to it.
I was going to ask, Yazeed, would you say that's an accurate description of what this is and who our target audience is?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the beginning we wanted it to be like, oh, anyone like any level could listen to the podcast and kind of get into it. But I definitely think like now that we've been doing it for a while, like especially like the more recent episodes, it definitely feels like you need to know about coding, and also you need to have like some understanding of how home games work. So we talk about like some more technical stuff, like when we were talking about like collision detection or shape geometry or like that kind of stuff. Like people who are just getting into tech would be like, what are you talking about? Or like, why is this a problem? Or right, like it's it's not something that we necessarily like have to take the, like we don't normally take the time to like explain down to the nitty gritty on it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that like in a way our responsibility then to make it so someone who doesn't know what the hell we're talking about can at least feel comfortable hearing and trying to learn what we're talking about?
I think that, I mean, for me, it's like somebody who doesn't code right now, right? If they're listening to this podcast, how do they find this podcast? But also, like, it'd be like if you went swimming and they were like, jump in, and there's just like the deep end, because we're very much like talking about like how AWS like pieces fit together and stuff like that. That stuff's stuff we talk about here. Yeah. And like really, like I think somebody who gets into the podcast probably would first get into like playing games on home games and then make a game on home games and be like, oh, there's actually a podcast where they talk about like upcoming changes and stuff, right? Because then at that point it's like important to them to like know what's coming down the pipeline and like where we're thinking and that kind of stuff. It'll also be a time for them to like send questions that we could answer on the podcast, like, hey, I'm making a game like this and this. Have you ever thought about like adding a functionality like this? And then we can talk about it.
Yeah.
So I definitely don't think it should be like for somebody who hasn't played a game on home games or made a game yet. Like I think that's a bridge too far to like try to cover.
Yeah, I agree. I guess I have that problem kind of personally, where sometimes I'll try to explain something that I think is interesting to someone like a non-technical family member, or like Senovia, for example, and I'm trying to explain why something I'm working on is frustrating or interesting, and this is a me thing where I try to abstract it or generalize it so much. It's like, okay, imagine if you had like a swimming pool full of jelly beans, but like instead of jelly beans, they were like regular beans, but like they were jelly in some cases, and then they're all talking to each other, but like you can't really see how. And it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And
what are you talking
to the point where it's not actually useful on the other end, because I've tried to make it something that's so unlike what it is. So I guess just realizing that you can't have everyone as your audience when you're talking about JavaScript, which I guess I'm still learning because it's kind of an interesting thing to me. But whatever.
So, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yazeed,
Mm-hmm.
what is the biggest thing you've accomplished in these past 100 episodes? You could do maybe like on like home games, then maybe like personally or something if you want.
Oh, that's a good question. I think personally probably getting a dog was probably the biggest thing. Yeah. Like the difference between like Yazeed before dog and Yazeed now is pretty significant, I would say. Not just from like activity level, but just like a lot of stuff, I think. But like on the podcast, like for home games, I think it's like two things. Like one, I think making Square was a big deal for me, because it was I had to like learn how like to use everything. But then later on, and like this happened like kind of I guess not really recently, but like months ago now, was I went through like how the back end all works and stuff, and I actually understand a lot more like where I went wrong with Square and stuff like that. So I think like those two things together are probably like my bigger accomplishments.
Nice.
Yeah.
Joseph?
So yeah, we kind of talked about this, I guess, relatively recently about specifics, I think, for the year. But when I guess going back to the whole thing, there's a bunch of different accomplishments, I suppose. I think this, like, just the fact that we're still doing the podcast at all is a pretty big one. Just one of our friends from middle school, Yazeed and I, one of our friends reached out and was just like, hey, congratulations on hitting 100. That's a nice accomplishment and cool commitment to it or whatever. And in a way, the whole COVID stuff, like we mentioned before, it's just been weird to have any sort of consistency. And even though this podcast has been incredibly inconsistent in quality, subject matter,
it's still happening. Though.
Yeah, we're still doing it. Which, I think that's an accomplishment. Even after we eventually stop doing this whole thing, like these episodes will exist, which I think is cool. And yeah, the technical stuff, obviously, I think the technical progress that we've made is cool, but yeah, we'll probably put the podcast over that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the personally part of that too.
Oh yeah, personally, what's your biggest accomplishment over these past 2 1/3 year?
Oh, I mean, I think quite a bit has changed in our personal lives and stuff. Like we said before we started recording, but yeah, we were in the Seattle apartment, and then Yazeed was dogless and sad. No,
one of those things changed.
And then now you and I are married, which I would say is a huge personal accomplishment. We have this house, which is a personal, it's a giant accomplishment. Because at the beginning of the thing, we moved
back home.
Yeah, back in Tucson where
we have a dog.
Yeah, she's quite the traviesa, but she's.
Have you talked about Pepper on the show?
We've mentioned her because she does her howling,
and
it really ruins the audio part.
She's my responsibilities. You can blame her on me because I'm a terrible dog owner. But
no.
Yeah, she's been a problem, but I still enjoy her company.
She's a good dog. Yeah. She's just awful.
Yeah, a lot has changed, and it's been a cool 2.5 years, I guess. Just in the next 2.5 years, we mentioned this before, but in the next 2.5 years, we'll all be 30 or older, which is kind of a weird thing to think about, just on a personal life level. But it's cool.
Man. And now I finally have jeans with a little bit of room in them, so I could put it in my front pocket, but I don't.
Well, that's a good introduction to the next part of the podcast, which I just have the bullet point fun. So this is scheduled fun time.
Scheduled fun time? I haven't had that since college.
Did you really have a calendar for fun in college?
Yeah, for a while I had a routine where I would mark off I need to do this for this amount of time and this for this amount of time. I actually had you on the routine. You'd be on the routine too.
Aww.
Just got to do Joseph every Saturday.
Yeah, I'd be like talk to Joseph, spend time with friends, that kind of stuff would be on the part of the daily routine.
I think these days I've realized that I need to make a Google Calendar for my personal life. Fun from 6 to 8. Family time 8 to 10. I need to do that because it's easy to forget what I need to do as a person. I'm just so busy.
Yeah, yeah.
So much going on in my very cool life.
I don't know. I mean, for me, it's a lot of every day is similar things that happen. So I just kind of go through it now. But also that routine ruined me emotionally. So I'm never going to do that again. 0 out of 10. Don't recommend.
So yeah, our fun ideas were name your top 5 thing. Mm-hmm. Name your top 5 video game. Name your top 5 movie. Name your top 5 whatever. What are you guys feeling?
I think top 5. I think movie.
Yeah,
Start with movie.
Top 5.
Top 5 movie.
All right. Top 5. Are we doing 5, 5, 5?
No.
Countdown.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'll go first. Nope. I don't know why I did this. Okay. Here we go. Top 5 restaurants or places to eat.
Okay.
They could be local. They could be chains. They could be whatever. Top 5.
Oh God. All right.
Ever?
And do we need do you guys want to do number 1 is number 1, or you just want to do general top 5? No place?
I don't know. I would have to do it as general. I don't think I could.
Yeah, let's just do general, so you could just think of some.
So just 5 of your top restaurants.
Top 5 places to eat.
In any order.
Any order.
Is there a minimum number of times you have to have been to this restaurant?
No, it has to be your top 5.
Oh God. Okay.
Top
all right.
Top 5.
Oh man. Okay. Okay.
Why are there so many questions? It's just
I'm stalling. I'll be honest. I'm stalling for
places
time.
to eat, places that you get the food from and you like the food.
One thing I've really fucked myself with in this podcast is not getting project requirements straight at the beginning. So I really need to understand the problem before I dive in here.
5 names of places where you can go get food and then eat it and then you like it.
So it was Chick-fil-A in that?
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A is in there for sure.
God.
Wait, no, you do one now. You do one now. Joseph picks,
I have to do one?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We'll do them one at a time.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. Well, if yours is Chick-fil-A, then I'm going to say Popeyes.
Just for the chicken sandwiches?
No. Scratch that. Lucky Wishbone. Way better.
Okay.
Billion times better.
Yeah, Lucky Wishbone, but they don't have the chicken sandwich.
Excuse me, this is not your time. This is just...
No one's going to respond? We're just going to list 5 things?
No, I thought you were going to combat me.
Wait,
what's
the difference between Lucky Wishbone and Chick-fil-A?
Because Chick-fil-A is terrible and Lucky Wishbone is delicious.
Nicey. I've eaten at Lucky Wishbone.
What do you eat?
They have fish fingers.
Oh, the fish fingers.
We were just,
But also they have bread. Oh, their bread is dynamic.
you can wring it out and get butter.
Yeah, buddy.
Did you just say yeah, butter? Like, yeah, buddy?
I said, yeah, buddy. That would have been funnier. Okay, for me, there's a place kind of near me called Wildflower. It's like a sit-down restaurant.
Oh.
They're really good. Apparently, they started as like a food truck, and now they have like an actual restaurant. Their desserts are great, and their food's good. Is how I would describe them.
Are we talking just food? Or are we talking about any criteria?
This is restaurants. What are you
things
talking
you
about?
But if they
So
happen,
food.
if it's a place and they have food,
What kind of
Are you
Costco?
Dairy
What do you-
Queen? What are you
what could
talking
this
about?
be?
one of my favorite. Okay, Bambinos Pizza in Seattle.
Yeah,
It's a restaurant.
that's a
bro.
restaurant.
It's a restaurant. This isn't the one I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
It's close in proximity, but it's not the one I was thinking of. But okay, Bambino's Pizza. And since I can't comment any further, I will cease commentary.
I agree with that. Actually, I'll put that as one of my top fives too, because Bambino's Pizza in Seattle, Washington, kind of near the Space Needle, so good. The best pizza.
Wait, did we go there when I was there?
Did we?
I don't.
We
think
went to a
did.
pizza place, but I don't remember where.
I don't think we went there with you. We probably went to some other, like maybe Ballard Pizza or something like that.
You went to a pizza place?
Yeah,
with
yeah,
us?
yeah. We went to a pizza place when I was visiting.
Yeah, I never went to Ballard.
You never went to okay. Was it by the Space Needle? Do you remember?
I don't remember that. I don't remember where the Space Needle is.
It
or
must have been
anything else.
Bambino's.
We walked there from your old apartment.
Oh, then that couldn't have been it because we didn't go to Bambino's in my old apartment.
Oh. A pizza place.
What the hell? I don't know. We ate pizza in Seattle once and it wasn't memorable. So Bambino's
Yeah,
is
whatever
better.
it was, it wasn't that good.
You know, there's a place. There's a place that I went to for breakfast in New Zealand, and I had crepes there, banana crepes there. Really good. I don't remember the name of the place, but I know where it is from the hotel I was staying in. Really good. Great place. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
So New Zealand crepe bananas.
Yeah. Those banana crepes in New Zealand, specifically in I think it's like a part of New Zealand called Rotorua.
Okay.
It's like
I'm sure people could find
It's
it.
really good. Probably.
All of our what are they, Kiwis out
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Kiwis out there, you know.
Hey.
They don't know that that's your name also. So
Oh,
it's like
Yazeed Senovia from New Zealand.
I just love the bird and kiwis.
okay, I'm up. Okay.
So you
Well,
have 3 more.
the one I was originally thinking of was 5 Point Cafe.
Oh, that's a restaurant because they serve food there. Yeah.
3 doors down from Bambino's in the same part of Seattle. No.
That's in your top 5?
Places to go? Yeah.
Places to eat.
Why would I go there and not eat there? Well, I wouldn't eat at a Chick-fil-A. But I guess it's like, yeah, what else do I like? I don't really have a whole
Are you serious? You don't like Los Betos. You don't like Taco Bell. You don't like peanut butter pizza. You don't like Chinese food. Indian food.
I'm talking about going there. I mean, like,
Places to eat.
I love eating at 5 Point Cafe. That place is fun
all
as
right.
hell.
This is your criteria.
But I really like also drinking whiskey at 5 Point Cafe and eating a lot of eggs.
Okay.
What?
That
fair.
is
What is this place? Why do they sell eggs and whiskey? What's going on?
Because it's like a bar. It feels like a Famous Sam's almost. It's like just like a dive bar.
Yeah.
But they serve all day breakfast and lunch and dinner and stuff. But I think after like 8 o'clock or something, like 8 p.m. to like 7 a.m., they do unlimited hash browns.
Oh my god. It's a lot of potatoes.
So if you're ever looking for heart disease, hit up 5 Point Cafe. I really recommend it. You're next, Senovia.
Ooh, and then one thing to add to 5 Point is that they sell cheese curds, but you put honey on them. So good. So good.
I'd let those kill me.
Let's see. I would say Tanya's 33. That's right here in town. It's a Mexican restaurant. Best Mexican food?
In town is Tucson, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Arizona.
Yeah. Representing heavy this episode because we normally don't mention that we're in Tucson. So So yeah,
Well,
Tanya's.
I'm wearing the shirt anyway. So.
It's true. It's true.
They're gonna find us anyway.
It's a challenge. Come find us.
No, don't.
At Tanya's 33 in Tucson. But yeah, I agree. Their beans and all that kind of stuff are great. But I'll argue with you on my next one.
Oh,
but you
okay.
go ahead and you go ahead.
Yo,
You got 3 more.
I know. I don't know.
Are you serious?
It's got to be McDonald's. The fact
Yeah,
that
you got to
Jesus.
put McDonald's.
I don't really. I like McDonald's because they're a safe bet always. McDonald's are the same anywhere in the world. Like you're in an airport, you're like, oh, we're gonna go for travel somewhere. What are we gonna eat for lunch? It's like, oh, we could eat like a questionable airport meal, or we could just eat McDonald's. Like always pick McDonald's.
What about like a Greek food?
Oh, there are some good Greek restaurants that I've been to.
Wow, like Mexican.
You know what? Okay, what I was gonna say was, do you remember 1702?
Yeah.
But like back when we were in college.
Yep.
Like back when we were in college, for sure.
I've heard it's changed. I don't really know how, but
It's gross.
Yeah.
yeah, 1702 was pretty great.
Yeah,
It's
that's who I picked. It was good pizza,
Yeah.
but they don't exist in the same way anymore. So I don't know if I should really pick them. Don't go there now, but
On our graduation day, I went there with some other people, and I drank like 6 of their ciders, and then went to graduation very drunk. So will always hold a special place in my heart. So my next one is St. Mary's Mexican food,
Yeah, that's fair.
also in Tucson, right down the street from Tanya's 33.
It's very good.
Senovia and I have had this discussion many times off of recorded audio, but basically Tanya's food is not as good as St.
Don't
Mary's.
disrespect Tanya's.
Okay, is less greater than St. Mary's, but St. Mary's service is dog shit, and it's terrible. It'll take you 45 minutes to get 1 bean and cheese burrito. This just happened to us this last weekend, or this last week. But yeah, St. Mary's, I'd still have their burritos over Tanya's any day.
They're both very good. I just really like Tanya's. I've been going there longer, so I just have more of an alliance to them. But I very much respect St. Mary's. If you're ever in town, bean and cheese at St. Mary's is delicious.
I agree.
Yep.
What's your next one? This is what, number 4?
This is number. Yeah, I have 2 more. So number 4. I gotta say EG's. I love EG's.
Do you?
Yes, I do. EG's is a chain in Arizona that they just sell like sub sandwiches, French fries, hot dogs, but they invented this EG, which is basically like a slushie, but way better. And they have flavors of the month and stuff. It's so good. It's my childhood. I love it. That's it. You ever like field days? Do you guys ever have field days?
Was that
field day?
Like field day. Do you ever have field
like a field trip?
No, not field trip. Like field day. Like,
What is that?
They just let you loose in an open field? What's going on?
And in middle school and in elementary school, we would have like field days where we would just like go to a park nearby or whatever.
What?
And we would just like hang out and run around. And then we would always have EGs because it was always hot. And then the fire truck would come and spray like in the air, and then it'd be like a water park.
I actually have had that happen once in a summer camp thing, but it wasn't called a field day like it was normal. Like it was one time it happened.
Is that a weird?
I don't
Wow.
know. No, I think
never
field
happened
day
to
is
me.
a phrase. I just don't know what it is. I thought it was kind of just. I guess it makes sense when people say like have a field day with it, which means you do whatever you want.
It was.
Okay.
It was so much fun.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know, I was going to say, like, for sure that never happened to me, but I'll have to say tentatively that never happened to me. I don't remember. But you know what that reminded me of? Did this happen to you two as well when you were in, like, elementary school? Like, the fire department came and, like, ran you through, like, when your house on fire simulator? Dire, I don't think they do that anymore, but, like, that was pretty dope, actually.
And when that happened to me, the lead, like, fireman guy, he was my soccer coach at the time. And so when he came in, I was like, hey, Mr. Bleh. And then he was like, hey, it's Senovia. And so then we did, like, the whole obstacle course. They, like, build a house in the field. In your elementary school. And you're supposed to, like, run through it as if there's, like, a fire or something. And then at the end, he brought me a teddy bear. Because I guess they give teddy bears to, like, children who were involved with fires and stuff, and so he gave me one. I still have it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cute. I didn't know that you got a teddy bear of that. But yeah, I remember that. And then you had like watch a like video, and it's like a vampire, and he has like all these candles everywhere, and they're like, "Don't leave open candles or whatever." Bro, I remember that, but I don't remember anything about my own life. I don't know why.
You'd be like the best person to do a crime because you could just legitimately forget about it and pass every test when they ask you about it.
That wasn't just me stalling. That was just fun.
You have 2 more.
Oh, brother. Dude, I don't know. I'm going to have to say like Burger King just because I like their Impossible Whoppers, bro.
Oh, but those Impossible Whoppers are very good.
Yeah, and it's like what I like about them most is that I can go to a burger place and actually like get a burger, and it makes me feel like I'm included. It makes me feel like I'm included when it's not Lent. Aww. Because during Lent, I can roll into any restaurant and be like, "Yeah, bro, I love Lent. I love when Lent's going on. It's our favorite time of the year."
So this is what, number 5?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say Denny's. Number 5.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Solid.
Dude, that makes sense. Everything I know about Joseph, that makes sense.
It's gotta
That's
be
okay.
Denny's.
That's fair.
Gotta be Denny's.
All right, that's fine.
Yours has to be Denny's too.
No, it doesn't. Gosh, let me think. You gotta be thinking of your last one too.
Yeah, I'm thinking. My brain's running.
It's Denny's.
No, it's not. It's not Denny's. Oh man, top 5 is difficult because there are a lot that I do like. Okay, for variety's sake, I will say, no, not that one. Okay, here we go. I feel confident in this. There's another local place called Caruso's. And it's a really good Italian restaurant. It's so good. I love their food. I love being there. I feel like I'm in the mob. Everything is like all red and white and stuff. It's so nice. I love it.
When's the last time you went to Caruso's?
See, that's the thing. Because it's like a full like sit-down restaurant in like the busy part of town. So like I never really go there. So when I do go there, it's like a nice occasion. And it's fun and it's delicious. So...
See, folks, she meant Denny's, but she just wanted to be different from me, and she wanted to keep her Denny's stance.
I have strong connections to Denny's, and I love them, but they're not top 5.
Our first proper date involved the Denny's, kind of, or however you want to call our first date.
Why are you saying it like that? We went to Denny's on our first date.
But it wasn't our first date.
Oh, on our second date.
Yeah. But we have a dispute about whether or not that was our first date.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it was ambiguous. All right, what's your number 5, Yazeed?
Okay, again, I don't have a name for it, but there's an Italian place kind of like Zenovia's where it's where my brother used to live in California. There's like a hole in the wall Italian place. They literally had like 3 tables, and that was it. Like you'd go in, there was just like 3 tables, and then like the like owner or whatever was like the waiter and the cook. So you walk in there, but it was really dope. Like the food there was crazy good, and the only other family who walked in there, they walked and they're like, "Hey," and he was like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Was like that.
Dude, they really were like super Italian. Like they start talking in Italian to each other, and I was like, "Oh my god, what's happening?" That when you said like it made you feel like you were in the mob, that also made me feel like I was in the mob. But I was like on the outside, like just in the mob building. It was really good. The food was really good. 10 out of 10 would recommend if I remember the name of the place.
So 2 out of the 5 places. Okay, you forgot 2 of the names, and then one of them was Burger King.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey, don't you pick Denny's and Chick-fil-A, bro. Don't even come after me for fast food.
I understand having a dispute with Chick-fil-A. Totally get it. Not Denny's. Denny's is flawless. Denny's is where America happens.
Yeah, Denny's would be great if IHOP didn't exist, bro.
No.
Oh, no. Denny's is way better than
No way. Oh my.
Denny's is way better than IHOP.
Oh my god.
IHOP will sell you a raw steak, and the server will tell you to go fuck yourself when you tell them about it.
Who gets steak at IHOP? You got pancakes
Why
at
they
the
serve
International Hop?
Pancakes at IHOP are way better than Denny's, though.
I would hope so.
Yeah. So I said, if you want pancakes, go to IHOP. If you want just other breakfast food, go to Denny's.
That's
my thing.
I'm a pancake boy. If I'm gonna go out for breakfast, I can make other stuff. I can't make pancakes.
I had a note on here about our audio setup. Obviously, it's kind of subpar today because we forgot the third mic, and then we have the dog in the back, fucking it up for everybody. But what if we had one of those little soundboards where we can make like a boing, or like a...
That's what I was... Because you need one that goes... Bah, 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 bah. You need like a air horn.
Air horns? Yeah, we need the remember like the old MLG montage parodies?
Brother. Now, I remember the legitimate montages. I tell Senovia about the glory days all the time of like just after Halo 3 came out. Like,
oh, those are also banging, but I do think the parodies are even funnier.
Oh yeah, like the damn son, where'd you find this? And then like Snoop Dogg doing the thing over it. Yeah.
And the people like just screaming like, oh my god.
We should turn our podcast into a YouTube poop.
I don't know if those honestly like aren't doing very well.
Oh yeah, because it's very dated type of comedy. Like if you watch that kind of shit today, it's just such a weird time. We were 16, 14, whatever. But yeah, no, I think
you should get a soundboard. You should have one that's the fish from SpongeBob, where he goes, "My leg."
See, it sounds in my head. It's kind of like, why would we ever do that? But I think it would force us to be more fun on the podcast.
Yeah, just randomly click. And it's like Manoy Manoy or something.
Yeah. Or
the sound of like maybe it's like Gears from Gears, but like the Source engine where just somebody's body like slamming against the floor repeatedly.
Oh yeah, like multiple, just like the
the collision noise. God, I love anything with that sound in it. It's 10 out of 10. I would recommend.
We should just start adding ad-lib tracks to the podcast.
There you go.
And we'll go from there. But I do think it'd be fun. We can get one of the little mini stream decks, whatever they're called.
Mm-hmm.
You can get one that's the Migos and it goes Mama.
Yeah, we could try to record every episode with using all of them at least once in like a semi-appropriate way, instead of just at the end like,
you need a fart one.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, did you guys want to go on to another top whatever list, or did you want?
Yeah, but someone else do that this time because I don't like getting asked a billion questions about restaurants.
Well, because there's so many restaurants.
Okay, then you think of the topic.
How do we feel about video games? In general, I hate them, but in terms of top 5 video games,
I can name 5
okay, is it top 5 favorite or like what you think is like important video games?
Oh,
I don't. Go ahead.
I would say like if like an alien like plopped onto this earth and was like, teach me things, and you had to give them only 5 video games to experience. What are those?
Okay, I got it.
What about 5 pieces of media, like
5
entertainment?
Video games.
Like what? I don't like video games that much. Like what if it was video games and or like things, where it's like you have to watch Pulp Fiction.
Video games, movies, and TV shows.
And books? Are books in this?
5? Only 5?
Well, if it's an alien and they're just like, show me the best works of your civilization,
Oh, bro, that's so big.
That's so big.
But okay, I can.
We can do video games also.
No.
Let's do categories.
We can do video. I'm just thinking.
Let's do top 3 then. Let's do the most crucial 3 video games that you have to pass on to someone.
But see, that's tough because like Yazeed was just getting at, I don't think the most important video games are my favorite.
Yeah.
I can just tell you like, Half-Life. Whatever.
Yeah. I would have been like Halo 1 because that was like a big shooter. I would have been on like Minecraft, and I probably would have done World of Warcraft. I think you'd have to pick like something like that list.
That's a solid list, but you there's gaps because 3 isn't enough because you gotta have. Well, no, Halo 1 is an FPS, I guess.
The only other one I would add to that is StarCraft 1, but.
It's because you're a nerd and you like Blizzard too much.
Dude, whoa. Okay, first of all, that's like a big deal strategy game-wise and like help build the esports industry. It's an important game, okay? I first started to defend it reasonably and I was like, wait, I'm being a nerd. Playing into his hands right now.
Okay, so is that actually the question? Are we doing the 3...
3 pieces of, 5 pieces of media to
pass
on?
No, fuck my question. It was stupid.
No, because I took over your question. I'm sorry.
No. We could do 5 favorite video games. Be like, hey, aliens, I acknowledge these aren't the most important. You can go to that guy for that.
Yes,
These are
there you
the,
go.
These are the
Okay.
slappers according to me.
There you go. Boom. The
Okay.
slappers.
Yeah.
The slappers.
Yeah. So am I going first? You going first?
You go first.
You gotta start with something liked but not popular, you know?
Okay.
Like, because it can't be on the important list. It can't be a Half-Life or a Halo.
Well, it could, but...
Well, I don't even like those games.
Okay, great.
So,
You don't like Halo?
the first one, not really.
It could be any of the. It doesn't have to be the first one.
Okay, I love Halo.
What are you talking about?
I love the first Halo. Fuck. Okay.
I thought you had it. Okay.
I'm just gonna say Geometry Wars 2 obviously is my first.
There you go.
Gotta get it out of the way so I have more time to think about the others. Geometry Wars 2, best arcade game ever made, probably. I would argue about that. Yeah, that's yours.
Tekken 3.
What specifically?
God damn! You know what?
Really lay it down.
What's more surprising to me is like I've played Tekken. I'm so just garbage at Tekken. How do you enjoy playing Tekken?
I love it.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
You button mash, right? That's like
Yeah,
your go-to.
my skill is button mashing, so I'm really good at button mashing.
Hey, dude, I like Tekken because there's a bear. There's just an actual
yeah,
bear,
it's a bear
named
and
Kuma.
then there's a cheetah. Oh, so good.
What's yours, Yazeed?
I think Minecraft has to be on my list somewhere. I don't know if it's
Wow.
like number one, but it's definitely like in the top 5. Would be like Minecraft.
Just because of like the game itself, or because of everything? Like, would you include the adventure game in that, or just original Minecraft?
I've never played the adventure game, so I think I would have to just the basic Minecraft game. I just think it's like a good platform to just to be creative in a way that's like not like it doesn't really like matter. Like you can be like, I put like 6 hours into building a house in Minecraft, and then like my friend blew it up with TNT, and yeah, you'll feel bad, but it's just a funny goof thing, and you can just go back and try again. Or if you're smart and you have like regular saves of your world, you just pull it back and then you ban your friend from having TNT. I don't know. It's just like a fun sandbox game to just do stuff and explore and just chill out.
Yeah, the social stuff I think is cool. I never played Minecraft with anybody except for you guys, like for 30 minutes once in my life. But it seems like if I was maybe if it had caught me at a different time, I would have played a lot more Minecraft.
Yeah, I think part of it is I've been playing since it was in beta.
Yeah.
So I've been playing for a long time, or at least I haven't like played consistently, but I mean, like, I've played in like bursts every now and again.
Yeah, because we were just talking before we started recording that our 10-year high school anniversary or would-be reunion or whatever, we don't know, is in May. So I remember in 2011 people talking about Minecraft beta, like, and inviting me to play. It's just super nuts how big that game became. I had one, but then I forgot it. Saints Row 2.
Oh.
Saints Row 2 is one of the best games ever, because the whole thing is just like a GTA clone, right? It's just like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, but doofier. And
In every way.
yeah, one of the side missions in it is you get into a septic tank, like a sewer vehicle, and your mission is just to blow shit at a bunch of people and houses and property and cause damage. And that's kind of the whole tone for the entire game. It's just dumb as hell, and the multiplayer was super fun, and I have a lot of good memories of playing that. So I would say Saints Row 2 is probably in some ways more enjoyable than real Grand Theft Auto. I'll fight someone about that too.
My second would be Mortal Kombat.
Which one?
All of them.
Okay.
There hasn't been a single Mortal Kombat that I haven't enjoyed.
Have you played?
Even the new ones.
Have you what? Did you play the one that was from like a top-down perspective? I think it was called Shaolin Monks, where it wasn't just one-on-one, but it was like you're fighting guys or you're fighting.
No, I don't think I like that one. I know what you're talking about. I think I prefer the ones where it's just 2 and 2, or like
one-on-one.
One-on-one. Yeah.
There was another one, I think, in Mortal Kombat, either Deception or Annihilation. I forget which one it was. But they added like a story mode where you're like a dude running around. They tried to add.
Oh yeah, that was an Annihilation where they added like a story. I truly do not care about the story behind Mortal Kombat, but I just like the fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not when they started to freak it, but just the original.
No, I mean I'll watch the movies for those, for the story, But even that, it's like convoluted. But I just love the characters.
Wait, did you watch the most recent movie?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
Everybody hated it except for us.
So good.
I thought it was a fun movie.
Right? It's so fun.
I'm not going in there to be like, yes, this has really like impacted my personal life. I went there to be like, let's just watch like a movie, turn my brain off, and enjoy it.
I love it. Yeah.
I watched a breakdown from someone I actually like on YouTube. I forget their name or their channel, but their whole thing was Mortal Kombat as a movie really doesn't stand on its own. You kind of need to know the games. You can't just watch it as a movie. You have to remember
that's fair.
Scorpions get over here, or else you're like, why the fuck did he say get over here like that? You know, it's kind of just... And I agree.
That's like saying you need to understand how a knife works in order to cook. Like, yeah, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it's true, but like, yeah.
Yeah, everyone that we asked knows what Mortal Kombat is, and even they were like, nah, it was not that good.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, I don't know.
I like the scene where they were in the little like training pit and the guy kept sweeping him and it was like, all right, I'm going to figure it out this time. Then he like jumps over it, but he gets swept anyway. I thought that was just funny. It was like a good spoof of like how people actually play the game.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you just
my
spam like low
gosh.
kick and everyone's like free. I remember like watching Joseph play and he won by doing jump kick or something and everyone just leaving the game.
Yeah, that's the Scorpion where you go down back X or whatever and you come in on the other side of the screen and hit him. Is that your phone?
Oh, it is.
It's okay. You can go get it.
No, it's my mom. She's just asking if I'm coming over today. I'll text her later.
Okay. Anyway, where were we?
Talking about Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat the movie is great. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. Was it yours next?
Yeah, it was. Damn it. I think I don't want to put League of Legends on my list because I played it for so long and it hurt me, but I'm going to put World of Warcraft on my list instead. Because I enjoyed it, but only up through like the original run through Wrath of the Lich King. After that, I think it got bad.
So the first, was that 3 expansions?
It was Vanilla, Burning Crusade, and then Wrath. So I think those 3 were good.
Was it? I could have sworn you're probably right, but I could have sworn there was
He's
another.
the one that plays it.
I know.
Listen, I played it. I quit.
Yeah, you're probably right. Anyway.
The one after that is Cataclysm, which is maybe what you're thinking of.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah, I never really played World of Warcraft, except I had a friend who let me use his account, and I got really into it for like a week, and then I think he was like, hey, stop using my account. So then I stopped playing forever, which is probably for the best. I'd probably be a different type of person today if I kept going with WoW.
It definitely sucks you in. You get like, you just get, what's fun, I think for me, what I'm going to realize as I make this list is that like, the interaction with other people is what makes the game fun. Like base World of Warcraft is just an RPG. You don't really need to put that much time into it. But like playing it with other people and like having a guild that like you interact with on the regular, like that kind of stuff makes it fun.
I think that's also the stuff I hate the most about video games today. Is that it's like Rainbow Six Siege, for example. I'm sure that game is really cool.
It's fun. I play a lot.
And I won't play it because I'm not going to play with random people, and I don't like having to sync up my schedule with you for me to enjoy a video game. So that's something I've learned as I've gotten older. Is like that's the kind of stuff in games I really don't like. But I do like anonymized multiplayer, or not anonymized, but just playing with randoms when it's competitive stuff, like in Modern Warfare 2, which is my entry to my list. Modern Warfare 2. Just because that game is perfect. And I have like 31 days total played of that game.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
I probably could have done so much with
Your
those
life.
couple of summers. But yeah, Modern Warfare 2, I would say, is the most fun I've ever had playing video games.
Wow.
That honestly might be true. That game is super fun. And especially like when we were playing it, when that game like came out.
Yeah, and because like it was a different time, and coming home from school, and you don't have anything to do except homework, which you're not going to do, and then you just play games with your friends for like 4 or 5 hours, and yeah, that game is just super fun. But that social stuff that I just said I don't like was the best part of Modern Warfare 2, so it's kind of a weird balance. Anyway, I'm older now.
Just an old grizzled war veteran or something.
Yeah.
I would put Crash Bandicoot on my list.
The original, like the first one?
Oh, yeah, the original. Mm-hmm. It just feels like childhood.
The game is hard as shit.
I know. Yeah, it was super hard.
Did you play the remaster?
No. I only played when it first came out, yeah.
I played a little bit of the remaster, and then I thought, this is too hard. So then I went on to the second game in the remaster, and it was also hard.
It's just a hard game.
I decided I'm not good enough. So. But it is fun.
Yeah.
It was cool in Uncharted 4 how they basically put the entire Crash Bandicoot game. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but in Uncharted, because the developers of Uncharted and Crash Bandicoot are the same, there was a scene in Uncharted, I think it was 4, where Nathan Drake and his wife are sitting down and they turn on the TV to play a video game, and then they're playing Crash Bandicoot, and you can play like the first level in Uncharted 4.
Dude, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I think of these days when I think of Crash Bandicoot, which is weird because now Microsoft owns Crash Bandicoot.
They?
Since they bought Activision, and I think Activision owned Crash
Oh my
Bandicoot.
god! Oh wow, that's cool. Or not cool, I guess. That's just interesting information.
Fucked,
yeah,
yeah,
a little bit, honestly. I know what my number one game on the list is. It's a game called Stellaris. I think it's the best game ever made.
Wow.
Yeah, you've mentioned that one on the
Yeah.
show. I've still yet to play that. But
Yeah. I honestly, I don't even know if you'd like it. The game is, I think it's the best game ever made, but that's like my opinion on it. I think it's like basically like you start as like a little, like your little government, and like your people have just got out in the stars, and you gotta like take them from that point to like being like an interstellar superpower. And like things happen, and like your economy crashes and stuff, and it's fun. You just like you're playing out like being in charge of like a interplanetary government, and I like it a lot. But it takes hours. I've played like 300 hours, and I've only beaten the game once successfully.
Jeez.
Wow. When you say the number of hours, it sounds really impressive, but that's what, like 12 days, 13 days?
That's a lot of hours, though.
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to make it seem like my 31 days in Modern Warfare isn't that bad. I'm trying to like bring you down.
Yeah. Sing this shit, bro. You're on your own.
Okay, my next one. So I know I said I wouldn't put Halo 1, but Halo 3. Halo 3 is my favorite Halo game ever. Second for most fun I've ever had playing video games. The custom games in Halo 3 are cool, and if we showed the aliens Halo 3. It might convince them, if they were planning on getting rid of us as a civilization, to keep us, just because of like the fun that we're capable of having, the joy that Halo 3 spreads through communities.
Well, it might be like these people are warlike barbarians.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, Halo 3. It's my number 4.
So I've never actually played this game, but it's very important to me. Uncharted.
The entire series?
The entire series. My brother used to play it, and I would watch it like a movie. And it was a great movie. It's a very fun story and stuff, so I would say that. And also, I feel like it's like actually like very important, and like it's created like a genre of video games that have come out, like Last of Us and stuff. So I would say that's important.
It's actually the same studio, same developer.
I know that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you're right. Like the moviness of those games is really impressive, and it's one of those where the characters are actually well written and realistic in a way.
Yeah.
Because if you play a PS2 game, play like a siphon filter or whatever type shooter from 2002, and just look at the cutscenes and the story, and you just see how far we've come. If you watch like the facial animations in Uncharted, it's like, holy shit, this is a whole different thing.
True.
Yeah.
I think I have to go with Halo 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. It's just like as you're playing it, and you're finding out about you're like, oh, here's the Covenant. There's like these blue aliens. You kill the blue aliens. And you're like, yeah, I killed the blue aliens, and you just kill the blue aliens, and you're like, yeah, I'm enjoying this so much. And then you get to like the scene with the flood in the library, like for the first time.
Yeah.
It's your 343 Guilty Spark. It's like the first, like you're in this thing, you're like, oh yeah, like the aliens, I gotta kill the aliens. And they've always they never ran away from you. Like they've always just stood and fought you to the death. And you're like, yep. But then when you get to that level and they're like running away and like you're trying to contact other people, but like your radio is like staticky, and even Cortana's like, I'm not really sure what's going on. And you're like, you're supposed to know. And like the whole, like that vibe is like you're exploring, like the world is being built out in Halo 1 is just like so good. But also like when I played it, and like I played it with my uncle, and that was like the last game I played with him really. So
Aww.
So okay, you actually like the immersion in storytelling and stuff in Halo, not so much the just what I think of, which is just shooting guys.
yeah, but I mean, yeah, but that's true about a lot of stuff between the two of us.
Yeah, I miss all nuance. There's like, oh, gun? There's a gun there. Like, you know,
like you didn't think it was cool, like when Master Chief is like in the room and he's like he finds the helmet and he like picks it up and he puts the chip in and he's like, and like you see like the cutscene where like Sergeant Johnson gets like overrun by the flood, and then Master Chief like pulls out the pistol and he's like oh shit, like we're about to like get into it, and then it actually happens to you and you have to like play through it.
I skip all cutscenes. When I would play...
You skipped some of the coolest shit ever, Rude. Oh my god.
Yeah, up until I was about maybe 16 or 17, every single time a cutscene would start in any game ever, I'd skip it. Just
you
mash
really
buttons.
don't have the attention span to play games.
Well, at that time, I totally had the attention span, but I didn't give a fuck about anything except playing the game.
I see.
Like, one of the most frustrating games ever was the Getaway, which was kind of like a GTA clone set in London. And it was just like a shooter, you know, you go around, drive cars and shoot guys, and everybody talks all British and shit. But there were unskippable cutscenes, and the checkpointing system was really bad. So I spent hours and hours watching the same little unskippable cutscenes in the Getaway. And I fucking hated it so much that I think that's maybe what made me hate all cutscenes in all games forever.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
You missed some of the coolest ones. I think that moment like changes Halo for me, like haha fun shooter, because I'd played shooters before Halo, but like that changed it from being like haha fun shooter to like, oh wait, this is actually like got some stuff going on.
I guess I just never cared. Something about video game stories. I just if it feels like it was something that was secondary, then I don't care. So I think someone was probably like, Halo, aliens shooting space halos, and then they're like, all right, how do we, what do the enemies look like? And then they made a story after that, as opposed to a book, which is like story. The fun part.
What do you say? Is that how anything is constructed? You build a piece and you're like, oh, let's like combine it to the next piece. So
I guess if you have a story that you want to tell, and you think that a game is a good way to tell the story, like The Last of Us or whatever, like The Last of Us seems like the story was first, and then they made a game around the story, as opposed to, we want to make this game, let's think of something that fits the game. Whenever I get that kind of a vibe, I just don't care. Mass Effect is the game that made me watch cutscenes again. Mass Effect 2.
I never played any of the Mass Effect games, so I can't.
Yeah, those games are cool as hell. Anyway, I just have I don't appreciate art at all. I have no taste. My number 5. Fuck. Oh man, I didn't prepare. I wasn't thinking. It's got to be like a PlayStation. Oh, Ratchet Clank.
Oh.
The whole series. Ratchet Clank is the best game series for like platforming and stuff ever. I like it more than Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, whatever, all that stuff. Ratchet Clank.
Okay. I don't know if this counts, but Rollercoaster Tycoon.
Oh,
Nice.
dude.
Every game that's successful is Rollercoaster Tycoon.
Can you explain?
As in, like, the things that make games good, it's in Rollercoaster Tycoon.
The watching it grow aspect
Yeah.
to simulation
Like,
stuff?
Like, I don't know when it was, but like we've had multiple conversations where you're describing a game and I'm like, oh, it's like Rollercoaster Tycoon.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, it is. So it's just like, it's the perfect game. So,
Is that the one that let you build incomplete roller coasters and people would fly off?
You can still do that in Planet Coaster.
Can you really?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I thought they got rid of that.
No, you can't put people on it. Like you can do like a test run and just kill other like bystanders.
Oh my god.
Does it actually kill them? Or
No, it hits them and they have like a physics engine, so like it knocks them however far they would be knocked if they got hit by the thing and not instantly turn into paste.
That's pretty funny. We should make, when we get this engine stuff worked out, we should make a Rollercoaster Tycoon type game, but all of the fuck ups and the death and the everything is incorporated. So it's kind of like Adventure Park. Is that the name of it?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Where there was like a water park or theme park that they set up in the middle of the Midwest or somewhere in America, and there was basically no regulation, no rules.
There were no ride engineers or anything, so it's just dudes that are like, yeah, put a metal tube down that hole or down that hill, and like kids ride. Yeah, here's a lake, just let people go on it. And so like 10 people died over the course of like 5 years or something.
Oh my god!
So it got shut down multiple times.
We should make a game where all of it keeps rolling. It's kind of you ever play Heavy Rain?
I've never no.
Heavy Rain, you make these choices, like kind of split-second choices in some cases that can cause characters to die. And the whole thing is that it's constantly saving, so you don't go back. Every choice you make, you keep going down that path to see an ending. I want that for a roller coaster game where you fucking killed these 30 people on your roller coaster. You're gonna open tomorrow and smile about it. You know, you're gonna like keep it going.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Not about the death, but about being open.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep it rolling.
I see.
Yeah. What were you gonna say? Sorry.
I was gonna say you had to like go through lawsuits in the game.
Yes, that sounds fun as hell.
Police reports.
This is turning in from an actual game to just real life. This is what would happen if you owned an amusement park. Dude, along that line, like Zoo Tycoon, I think has been really fun too. That's like my version. Like Zoo Tycoon was fun, but I think, bro, I don't know. I think The Sims 3 has to be on my list.
Oh, a Sims game.
Interesting. I never knew you played The Sims.
So The Sims, I credit with telling, like, I'm playing The Sims and I was getting my character to like live the ideal life that I wanted to live, and that's when I was like, fuck, I could just live that life. I don't have to make a character do it. I could go for a run every day and like I could work out and like I can like eat better. And I was basically like, shit, dude, I can actually do the things that my sim was supposed to be doing. And then I stopped playing The Sims because of that. No, I like that realization. Actually, before The Sims and after The Sims, the amount of time I've spent playing video games is like pretty different. I play less video games now than I did before I put this. So I credit The Sims with helping improve my life.
Look at that! Wow.
It's an inspirational story.
Yeah.
So you flip Burger King and The Sims into something like really about personal growth, doing well.
Anything can be about personal growth if you take a lesson away from it. Halo is a good example of that, but you didn't watch the cutscene.
All right, that's, I guess, it for our fun section. Scheduled fun is over, so it's no more smiling, please. Now we're going to talk about the next 100 episodes. What would we like to see in the next 100? Are we just taking turns? Like,
well, you guys start.
What do you want us to change in the next 100? I'm just joking. I guess I would like to have more fun.
The 100 weeks. Sorry, 100 episodes is 200 weeks.
It's not, because we did 80 and 80 weeks, and then we did 20 and 10 and 80, 20 and 40 weeks.
You're saying for the next 100?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were reflecting back on how many we've done. Yeah,
No.
Yeah,
it's 200 weeks.
200 weeks.
All right, continue.
That's 4 years almost.
Oh my gosh. All right, continue.
See, I think it'd be cool if this gained enough traction to the point where we had enough content for every week,
Yeah.
So that way it would be just 100 weeks, going back to the every week, because I did kind of like the every week thing more, even though it's kind of unsustainable for our schedules and shit. But I don't know. I just want to see this thing get people interested or not. Like, I honestly, realistically don't see us hitting another 100 if it's still this. You know what I mean?
No.
Link.
What do you mean?
Well,
you mean like you want to launch home games?
we need to launch home games and see what happens, because there's no way I'm still paying for podcast hosting and paying for the server hosting and devoting this much of my like mental energy to something unless it's going somewhere, you know? So I don't know. I just hope something happens.
Yeah.
Not to be like dark.
No, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, this is a lot of time investment, not just from like writing the code and all that stuff, but like doing the podcast. You also edit the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like several hours a week.
Yeah, and it's not like it's a bad thing. I at a certain point, you know, got to figure out what this is.
Yeah, push the bird out of the nest.
Yeah. So hopefully we launch and then we kind of get some cool stuff and see what's next for this whole project. Or if not, it's like, okay, well, that's why this failed. Here's a podcast forever. We're going to stop now, you know?
Yeah.
And we can just go back to regular life. I don't know. That's how I see the next 100.
Yazeed, how do you see it?
I think that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like over the next 100 episodes, I think it is going to be like, you know, like Joseph and I have talked about this on at least a couple episodes, but with the rewrites on like the Squish side, the home games core side, and the web side, I think that when those two things like how we want them to be, and we put the product out and we're like, hey, here you go. And if it like doesn't gain traction in 200 weeks, like that's a long time. That's like a long time to just continue to like put effort into something that's not. They're like, we're doing for fun. And I mean, like, Joseph and I can do other things for fun, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do a whole lot of other things for fun that aren't this, like, I don't know. It's hard to manage, especially because, like, I have a permanent slouch just because I'm constantly just over a fucking computer screen. And so, working on a computer and then doing your fun on a computer and then your podcast, it's like, what am I doing, you know?
Yeah. Have you ever seen the I'm Developer Twitter account? His like, it was like kind of like the start of the pandemic where he was like, I closed up shop for the day. I closed my work laptop and stayed within 6 inches of it the whole day. I was like, yeah, it's kind of true.
Yeah. Yeah, the COVID-ness of this stuff maybe also is different. Maybe we just need to kind of switch up our approach to some things to make it kind of like not so taxing, because I guess at some point it shouldn't feel this heavy, but I don't know, something. I want games. I want to make games.
Yeah.
I just hope that fucking lazy me gets off his ass and builds a system so I can make games, because that's been a lot of my excitement lately, has been about ideas for like the more creative stuff, but we need to finish this shitty phase that we're in before we can go on the creative stuff. So I'm looking forward to that.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want Christmas this year to be like, hey guys,
Play this game.
instead of the 7th year in a row where we're playing
Jackbox.
what's the word? Yeah, one of the Jackbox games, I forget
Or
which
like
one.
Heads Up.
Yeah, it's a few different things, and it's strange that
Whiplash.
Whiplash is the one I
Oh
was
yeah,
thinking of.
Whiplash.
Yeah, and they're fun.
Those are good. But you gotta make your own. You gotta do
Exactly.
your thing.
Exactly. So I want to see that and kind of test it out and like really show people, because I think we've been explaining to our family and friends, you know, what this is, and they're just like, "Oh, that's nice."
But there's nothing for them to see. It's gonna be really impactful.
Right. So we need that. But anyway, that's my.
So do you think like Christmas this year will be like when we have everything in
That's
place?
a good goal.
Or do you think it'd be before then or after then?
Well, I think we should have I still think June-ish for our launch, our soft opening.
Jesus.
Would be a good time frame, and then the rest of the year I just want to make things, and I think Christmas would be the testing time where it's like, hey, we have this thing and we have ideally a few games made. Christmas is the time to do it because everybody's visiting for parties and whatever, like that Halloween to Christmas stretch or New Year's. So that's the time to test it out, where you can see, okay, here's the system, we've built it, we have a proof of concept, and here's everybody playing it. And if it's this is cool, but you should fix these things, then that's great. We can go forward. But it's like, hey, this whole idea and implementation suck ass, and you guys should quit. And it's like, hey, maybe we should quit. We'll see. You know? Not to bring it down, but I mean, next 100, we're going to fucking kill it, brother. 900 more.
There you go.
Episode 6 million. I'm going to die on the podcast. 85, doing this to the end.
Wait, but I think at the top of the podcast, you said in 100 episodes would be like 30. Would actually be like 32.
I said another 2.5 years.
Oh.
Because that would have been if it was the same
structure,
pace. Yeah. But we'll be in another... Anyway, yeah, we're just talking about time frame. But in the next 100 episodes, yeah, we'll be like 32 years old, 33.
I've had my midlife crisis at that point. I've already been halfway done.
Yeah, it's Yazeed's opinion or theory that he's gonna die at 50 or whatever.
No, I think 60. I think 60 is a good age to go.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because you have like kids like around 30. They'd be like around 30 when you go. Be perfect.
No.
Thank you everybody for listening.
Oh
That's
my
gonna do it for us.
God, no, we can't end like that. Well, as an outsider, I'm very excited for you guys. A goal that I have for you guys is to launch and do something like expose it to the public and whatever. And I want to like be able to like play your games and stuff. So I say just do it. And then if it sucks, it sucks. And that's whatever. That's okay. And if it doesn't, then just keep doing it.
Hey.
I think we can't keep doing it. Is the realization?
Well, sure, but then you have to pivot into like, how do we monetize this? How do we like actually make it keep going? But if it doesn't, or if it doesn't work out, then that's okay. You have a billion other projects to work on.
Yeah.
You get into carpentry.
Yeah. Go hiking.
Start
together.
Go hiking with me and my dog.
We could just start the potty, our dumb version of the same podcast where we don't talk about anything technical.
We just record us being stupid.
Potty is
I'm
a
okay
very
with it.
cute name for our podcast. The potty.
That's Yazeed's idea. Anyway, anything else before we wrap up this episode?
No, just congrats, guys.
Thank you.
You totally did it.
And thank you for being on this episode, Senovia. And Yazeed, thank you for showing up.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Thank you, everybody, for listening. As always, our music is done by our friend Tynan. He is Nitan on Bandcamp. That is Nitan, Nytan. You can find us on Twitter at HomeGamesIO. We also have a website, homegames.io. You can send us a message using the contact form at the bottom of the page. Did I say anything else? Was that it? Was that the whole list?
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.